Passive house number 1. The architecture of the building comes from functional solution, housing and the characteristics of the surrounding environment with its natural resources. The southern part is processed with openings like French windows onto the terrace and in accordance with the climate conditions in Macedonia. They are providing a better connection between the closed space and outside. Also, in order to take maximum sunny days, the southern part of the facade is angled and additional mounted solar collectors. Mainly used natural materials typical of this area. The facade is mostly plastered, demit, facade final treated with Bavalit, while 40% of the facade is covered with wood. Fence of the terraces are stainless construction resistant to weathering. The roof is predicted to be of wood construction with a slope of 30 degrees and covered with Mediterranean tile. All openings, windows, French windows, etc. have a built-in shutter in the wall. A special advantage of the thermal aspect in this example is the position of the ground floor and one of the outer walls in contact with the ground, which reduces the intensity of heat transfer in winter. The low-depth soil temperature is fairly high and stable narrower range, compared to the outside air. If you analyze the country as a heat source, the geological and thermodynamic studies have shown that its temperature with increasing depth becomes rather constant, regardless of outside weather conditions. For example, at a depth of 3 meters, the ground temperature is higher than 15 degrees Celsius in summer and in winter lower than 7 degrees Celsius. Temperatures of unheated ceiling and basement are taken 0 degrees Celsius. Location of the facility, Skopje, with external design temperature of -15 degrees Celsius and internal design temperature of 20 degrees Celsius in winter. All external walls are made with ceramic brick block with a thickness of 20 centimeters, plastered with thermal insulation characteristic of passive houses. Facade is made with demit and incorporated an additional layer of insulation. Openings are constructed with wood aluminum profiles with triple glazing and argon charge, which contributes to an exceptionally low coefficient U. Careful design and construction of the building in order to avoid thermal bridges is one of the top priorities when it comes to the passive houses. The total net heated area of the building is 88,29 meters squared. If it is a building with conventional heating system without proper insulation, like representative example of most apartments and individual houses in our area, then this area would live power of 7 kilowatts, engaged or average power of 5 kilowatts. The calculated energy consumption per year would be 14,400 kilowatts per hour, or 181 kilowatts per hour/meters squared per year. According to the calculations for the energy range of this building, it would be categorized in the group of energy-intensive houses. Compared with the limited amount of consumption in passive houses, 15 kilowatts per hour/meters squared year is about 12 times higher value. The energy consumption for heating by 15 kilowatts per hour/meters squared year means limited installed capacity of 10 watt per meters squared. Taking into account the thermal inertia of materials, and solar gains through glass surfaces, heating demand will be calculated for 12 hours heating a day over 180 days in the heating season. So passive house must have structural and insulating materials with the characteristics in terms of thermal resistance that will allow limiting the heat losses to the value of 0,89 kilowatts. For the present example, Vs means the value of heat losses in the amount of installed capacity, which the calculations should give optimum thickness and type of insulation material. The calculations will also be included in the price difference compared to standard insulation, and the difference in the cost of HISO 3-layer glazed windows and doors. This will serve in the comparative analysis of energy and investment costs, which will be calculated either as an indicator of the return on investment, and the value of the NPV. The windows are 3-layer glazed with argon charging, the U value of 0,64 watt per meters squared Kelvin. It adds additional thermal insulation of 30 centimeters with equals 0025 watt per meter Kelvin, in order to reduce heat losses to the value of the installed thermal capacity of 10 watt per meter Kelvin. The total sum is 896 watts, which fits the constraints in terms of installed capacity for this type of buildings. In this case the value of K gets 9%. So in this example the value of IRE 9%. As this is higher than the discount rate, then the project is worthwhile. Price lists for the plan of passive house number 1. 5 sets, €650. 5 full sets of copyrighted plans printed or at PDF format at measure 1, 100. This is the minimum package you can build from. CAD, €1,400. A full set of plans in CAD format and copyright release giving you legal permission to make changes to the plan and make copies to build the house. Used by building and design professionals to make minor or major changes to the plan. Most plans come in DWG format. Visit us at www.jimdo.com.